today, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay tungkol sa limit theorem. So, before we have to proceed in our discussion, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe sa aking channel para updated ka sa mga lessons na aking ina-upload. So, kung ready na kayo, let's do it! Ang una nating limit dito ay tungkol sa limit theorem number 1, which is also known as the limit of a linear function. So kapag sinabi nating limit of a linear function, if m and d are any constant, so meron tayo dito have the limit of the mx plus b as x approaches a is equal to ma plus b. So in short, iyan lang natin to. Just substitute to the given. Example natin dito, we have here the limit of 3x plus 6 as x approaches 2. Magkakaroon tayo dito ng 3 times 2. Yung x, pinalitan natin siya ng 2. Then plus 6. So this will be equal to 6 plus 6. Then 6 plus 6 is equal to 12 as the answer. The next is the limit of 5x minus 4 as x approaches 3. So magkakaroon tayo dito ng 5 times 3 minus 4. Then this will be equal to 15 minus 4. 15 minus 4 is equal to 11 as the answer. Next is the limit theorem number 2. The limit theorem number 2 is the limit of a constant. So it's stated here that if c is a constant, then for any number a, so we have here the limit of c as x approaches a is equal to c. Example, meron tayo dito the limit of 100 as x approaches 3. The answer na meron tayo dito is equal to the letter c, which is 100, which is the 105. The next is the limit of 206 as x approaches to the negative 6. So the answer here is also the letter C, which is 206. Next, the limit theorem number 3. The limit theorem number 3, ang sabi dito is the limit of the identity function. So kapag namang identity function, so the limit of x as x approaches a is equal to a. Example, we have here the limit of x as x approaches 10. The answer na magkakaroon tayo dito is the 10. Okay, next limit na ating i-discuss is the limit theorem number 4. So, limit of the sum and difference of two functions. So, if the limit of the function of your f is as x approaches a is equal to L, and the function of your g as x approaches a also is equal to m, then the limit of the function of your f plus the function of your g, positive and negative as x approaches a, is equal to positive and negative m. So, example, we have here the limit of the x squared minus 3x plus 5 as x approaches 1. Gawin lang natin dito is we have to distribute the limit together with the x approaches 1 to the given. So, meron tayo dito trinomial, i-distribute natin siya. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng limit of x squared as x approaches 1 minus 3 limit of 3x as x approaches 1 plus the limit of 5 as x approaches 1. Now, in this case, apply lang natin yung mga naunang theorem natin to simplify in this case. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 1 then squared minus 3 times 1 plus 5. Then simplify, this will be equal to 1 minus 3 plus 5. Now using the m dash, magkakaroon tayo dito ng sagot na positive 3. Next is the limit theorem number 5. So the limit theorem number 5, this is the limit of the product of two functions. Parang ano siya, yung kanina we have here the addition and subtraction, ngayon naman we have here the product. So if the limit of the function of your x is equal to L as x approaches a, and the limit of your function of your g as x approaches a also is equal to m, then the limit of the function of your f plus the function of your g as x approaches a is equal to L times m. Ang gawin natin dito is we have to substitute. So magkakaroon tayo dito na is equal to 4 squared tapos 4 cubed minus 3 Then 4 squared is equal to 16. Then 4 cubed is equal to 64 minus 3. So this will be equal to 16 times 64 minus 3 is 61. Then 16 times 61 is equal to 976. The next is the x squared. The limit of the x squared minus 5 multiplied to x cubed plus 6 as x approaches to negative 2. The same, magkakaroon tayo dito na is equal to negative 2 squared minus 5 times negative 2 cubed plus 4. Then simplify, this will be equal to negative 2 and negative 2 is positive 4 minus 5. Then we have here negative 8, negative 2 to the 3 is negative 8 plus 4. This will be equal to 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Then negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4. Then multiply, we have negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. Next is limit theorem number 6. In the limit theorem number 6, the limit of the nth power of a function. So if a limit of the function of your f is equal to L as x approaches a and n is any positive integer, then the limit of the function of your f as raised to n as x approaches a is equal to L raised to n. Example, we have here the limit of the x minus 3 cube as x approaches 5. So in this case, just substitute, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 5 minus 3 then cube. This will be equal to 5 minus 3 ay 2 to the 3. So this will be equal to 8. Next, we have the limit theorem number 7. Limit theorem number 7 is the limit of the quotient of two functions. So if the limit of the function of your f as x approaches a is equal to L, and the limit of the function of your g as x approaches a also is equal to m, then the limit of the function of your x over the function of your g as x approaches a is equal to L over m. So if m is not equal to 0, kasi kapag ang m ay nag-equal to 0, that will be considered as a undefined. Example, we have here the limit of the square root of x squared minus 9 as x approaches to positive 3. So, ang gawin lang natin dito is we have to substitute. Kakaroon tayo dito the square root of, this will be 3 squared minus 9. This will be equal to the square root of 3 squared is 9 minus 9. So, the square root of 0. Kakaroon tayo square root of 0 is still 0 as the answer. The next is the limit of x squared minus 4 over x squared plus 4x plus 2 as x approaches 2. So, if this is the case or ganito yung given, ang gagawin natin dito is we have to factor. So, in this case, applicable ang difference of 2 squared. In this case, naman, ang factoring na applicable dito is the general trinomial. Now, kapag pinactor natin ang x squared minus 4x, this will be a x plus 2, x minus 2, all over. General trinomial yung denominator. So, or in short, FOIL method. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng x. Now, the factor of 2, giving the sum of 4. Magkakaroon tayo dito ng correction, so this is a 4. Correct natin yung given. So, ito ay hindi 2, ito ay 4. Yan. Factor of 4, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 2 and 2. So, positive and positive. So, this will be equal, magka-cancel tayo dito ng, kasi we have 2 times 2 ay 4, then 2 plus 2, magkakaroon dapat tayo dito ng positive 4. So, that's why it is a 4. So, magka-cancel tayo ng given. Ito, cancel natin to. Kasi sila ay similar. So, natira lang tayo dito ng x minus 2 over x plus 2. So, is equal to, substitute natin to, yung given natin, as x approaches 2. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 2 minus 2 all over 2 plus 2. This will be equal to 2 minus 2 ay 0 over 4. 0 over 4 is still 0. The next is the limit theorem number 8. It stated that limit of the nth root of a function. So this is the last limit. So if n is a positive integer and the limit of the function of your f as x approaches t is equal to L, then the limit of the nth root of the function of your x as x approaches a is equal to the nth root of L, with the restriction that if n is even, then L is greater than 0. Example, we have here the limit of the cube root of 2x minus 3 as x approaches 4. Now, ang gagawin na natin dito is just substitute the value of the x approaches, which is 4. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng cube root of 2 times 4 minus 4 is equal to, sana tayo ng cube root of 2 times 4 ay 8 minus 4. So, this will be is equal to cube root of 8 minus 4 ay 4. So, since walang cube root ang 4, it will remain as the cube root of 4. Okay, so let's have the evaluation. So, in the evaluation, ang gagawin natin dito is we have to apply yung mga properties ng ating limit. So, in this case, meron tayong given the limit of the x plus h squared, or the quantity of x plus h squared minus x squared over h as the h is approaching to 0. So, in this case, ang gagawin muna natin is we have to expand this given. Expand muna natin to. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng square of binomial. So, in the square of binomial, magkakaroon tayo dito ng x squared plus 2x h plus h squared minus x. Galing dito. Next, minus x squared all over h. Then, we can cancel the x squared and the x squared kasi isang positive, isang negative. So, natira tayo dito ng 2x h plus h squared all over h. Then we have to apply here the CMF or common monomial factor. The common here is h times 2x plus h all over h. Then cancel. Magkakaroon tayo dito ng 2x plus h. Then apply natin yung approaches, yung x approaches 0. So, this will be equal to 2x plus 0. So, 2x plus 0 is still 2x. So, this will be the answer, 2x. The next is the limit of x squared minus 6x plus 9 all over x squared minus 9 as x approaches 3. So, again, we have to factor muna to. So, ang applicable na factoring dito ay ito ay GT or general trinomial, or pwede din namang perfect square trinomial or PST. So, and dito sa baba, pwede naman dito, pwede ang DOTS or difference of 2 squared. So, in this case, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawa. So, this will be x and x. The factor of 9 giving the sum of 6. Magkakaroon tayo dito ng 3 and 3. Now, since negative to, this will be a negative. So, pag chinek natin, negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. All over, difference of 2 squared, magkakaroon tayo dito ng x and x, then 3, isang positive at isang negative. Now, we can cancel this kasi parehas sila. So, in this case, magkakaroon tayo ng x minus 3 all over x plus 3. So, this will be, apply natin yung approaches. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 3 minus 3 is equal to 3 plus 3. So, this will be equal to 0 over 6. So 0 over 6 ay 0. Okay, next given is we have to evaluate the limit of the square root of x minus 1 over x minus 1 as x approaches 1. So in this case, kailangan natin applyan siya ng rationalization. Although sa basic, ang rationalization ay nangyayari lamang kapag mayroong radicand sa baba. But in calculus, ang rationalization ay pwede din sa numerator. So, since apply tayo ang rationalization, magkakaroon tayo ng square root of this will be the square root of x minus 1 all over x minus 1 times rationalization numerator. This will be the square root of x plus 1 all over the square root of x plus 1. So, in this case, sa numerator, pwede tayong gumamit ng FOIL method or difference of 2 squared. Yung baba, wag muna natin galawin. So, this will be equal to, kung apply tayo na difference of 2 squared, ay magkakaroon tayo ng square root of x, then squared, minus 1 squared. Pwede naman gumamit din ng FOIL method, ganun din na magiging sagot. Just copy the numerator, magkakaroon tayo dito ng x minus 1, then the square root of x plus 1. Simplify, magkakaroon tayo ng cancel. This will be x minus 1 all over x minus 1, then the square root of x plus 1. Then cancel to, natiran tayo sa taas ng 1 over the square root of x plus 1. I-substitute natin yung x approaches 1. This will be equal to 1 over the square root of x is the square root of 1 plus 1. Extend lang natin dito. So, you will have here is equal to 1 over square root of 1 is 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 over 2 as the final answer. The next given is the limit of the square root of x squared plus 12 minus 4 over x minus 2 as x approaches 2. Again, we have to rationalize yung numerator. So, magkakaroon tayo dito ng the square root of x squared plus 12 minus 4 over x minus 2. Multiply by the rationalize. So, magkakaroon tayo ng x squared plus 12 plus 4 over the square root of x squared plus 12. This is 12 plus 4. Again, can apply FOIL or difference of 2 squared. So, mas madali ang difference of 2 squared. Karoon ka lang dito ng square root of x squared plus 12, then squared minus 4, then squared all over, copy x minus 2, and the square root of x squared plus 12 plus 4. Then is equal to, cancel to, makakaroon tayo ng x squared plus 12 minus 16. Kasi 4 times 4 is 16 all over. This will be x minus 2, the square root of x squared plus 12 plus 4. So, in this case, ipafactor natin ang numerator. So, this will be a, or not factor. Simplify muna natin tong dalawa to. 12 minus 16. This will be equal to x squared minus 12 minus 16 is negative 4 all over x minus 2. The square root of x squared plus 12 plus 4. Factor natin to ng DOTS. Difference of 2 squared pa din siya. Then, magkakaroon tayo dito ng, extend lang natin dito yung given. So, magkakaroon tayo ng, factor natin siya, this will be x plus 2, x minus 2, all over, x minus 2, Then the square root of x squared plus 12 plus 4. Then cancel this. So magtitira lang tayo ng x plus 2 all over the square root of x squared plus 12 plus 4. Then apply natin to approaches. So this will be a 2 plus 2 over the square root of 2 squared plus 12 plus 4. This will be equal to 4 over ang ating 2 squared ay 4 plus 12. This will be 16. The square root of 16 plus 4. This will be equal to 4 over square root of 16 ay 4 plus 4 is 8. So this will be equal to 1/2.